Today we're at Boston Pizza Kingsway, here with Brooke, who's the hostess here, and my friend Dave from Kindness in Action. We're doing something special at this Boston Pizza. These guys do a lot of charity work, and today they're supporting Kindness in Action and the Boys and Girls Club with donations from the patrons here and with drink sales of Rig Hand craft distillery products. So Brooke, you normally greet people when they come here?
Yeah, I greet them, I seat them, I tell them the specials for the day.
So we've got something extra that we have to tell them today about the fundraiser, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we have these hearts here, and if they donate $2 to the Children's Foundation, you get a heart and you get to put your name on it and it goes on the wall.
You bet. I hear some people will donate more than $2. So it's
absolutely.
a minimum $2?
Yes, just minimum $2.
So some people are throwing a 10 or a 20 at it, sort of thing. So it goes to Children's Foundation, Boys and Girls Club, and Kindness in Action. So a bunch of different charities that are involved here.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And Dave, you've been involved with Kindness in Action for a long time, right?
Yeah, over 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
And you're past president?
Past president, current vice president.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was the secretary once upon a time, so I've known Dave for a long time. We've been on a lot of volunteer trips together.
We're strippers to Ecuador.
Absolutely, that's right. Kindness in Action is a volunteer group made up of dental people, a lot of them Albertans. It's an Alberta-based charity based in St. Paul, and go to over 30 countries around the world doing volunteer dental work for poor people that can't afford it.
We need volunteers from all walks of life.
It's always nice to have those farmers come along that know how to fix compressors when they blow up.
Compressors and generators, and
a lot of the places don't have any power or running water.
it's got moving parts, it breaks down.
Exactly. You need Mr. MacGyver there all the time.
Yeah.
Usually the groups are 20 to 30 people, and
15 to 25.
Yeah, you want it smaller.
Yeah, 30's a little big.
And we'll go to remote areas in Central or South America or Southeast Asia or even Africa. Recently, Karen and I came back from a trip in Morocco, and we go to real remote areas that sometimes they haven't even seen a toothbrush before, and the dental need is incredible, and they don't have any money to do that kind of work. So it's neat that Albertans are going and Canadians are going all over the world to do good charity work. So if you buy a heart today, or if you buy one of our Rig Hand cocktails at Boston Pizza today, some of the funds are going to support that kind of work.
Kindness in Action began way back in 1993 with volunteer dental trip down to Honduras. Since then, they've made numerous trips all around the world to help the less fortunate. Let's go check out another traditional healing remedy, my personal favorite, garlic.
Hey Nick, how's it going?
Good morning. How's it going?
Good to see you. You got garlic laying all over the place here.
That's the garbage cleaning out the machinery.
Oh, is it?
Here is basically a single, and so what you can still get out of these ones, which I try and plant, is one germination out of the center.
Oh, rather than each separate clove,
right,
you mean?
So, but there's so much skin, like these, you can see in the middle here. This one's a double, but it'll still produce seed around the outside edge. So for me, it's got value, or for anyone with culinary purposes.
Or somebody with a vodka purpose.
A vodka purpose. See, this one's easy to peel for you guys.
Exactly, we don't have to peel each individual clove then.
I kind of blame it on we had a lot of smoke last year, like with the BC fires, and it almost has that greenhouse effect. Everything just stunted, and it stopped in August.
You used to plant all this by hand, right?
All
and
by
harvest
hand.
it all by hand.
Yeah, I have a crew of people to help. It's not a one.
So were you busting these apart by hand into the individual cloves and planting them?
Yeah, you do it about a day before, wreck your hands, and then go out and get a crew to sit on a kind of a wagon that could sit 4 people, and as it kind of punches the holes, I can show that after it.
Yeah.
It gives you a little spot where you can put the clove in.
And you put it, you have to make sure it's upright in there. This type you're calling Pembina Purple, correct?
Pembina Purple, yeah. We're about 2 miles from the river here, and it's been planted there in and around this river area for, I don't know, about 80 years. This Pembina Purple, we just named it that.
Because it's here.
Because it's here, and it was basically unregistered. So it got registered again.
And how many per acre are you seeding?
This year I have at about 75,000 plants per perfect acre.
Wow,
of
that's
land.
a lot. That's
so
pretty
about 15
dense.
acres is close to just over 1 million I put in for seed.
Yeah, I thought I had invented garlic vodka when I first put this in here, but I did a little more research and found out over in the Eastern Bloc they've drank it for generations as kind of a health thing. If they felt a little sore throat coming on, they do some infusion with their local garlic and a couple shots and sore throat goes away. You don't have to worry about it. So yeah,
it does. It's just like medicine. A lot of people use it. It's becoming more popular, and people, like I said, want the stuff that they know is grown in Alberta.
Right here, not just sprayed with a bunch of stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, show me your new machinery here.
Okay. Well, I just picked up this case this year from.
That's what we used to run on our farm. Cases, yes. None of that green stuff.
Well, it actually came from a green store in Marathon.
Did it really?
But they had it. It was a guy that used it for parsnip and potato planting. So now it's a garlic planter. And
No kidding. Oh yeah. Who knew there was a whole industry built on garlic
it's
production?
big. It's either France or Spain.
So we're behind, in, of course, as usual, in Alberta compared to what they're doing over in Europe. Then.
Big time. So
Yeah.
there's dealers that get the stuff brought to Canada, but it's all developed in Europe. And so it has these little spoons here, and basically it's on a spring, and it'll pick it up on the hopper and basically hold that clove in there. As you're driving in the front direction, your drive wheels are turning.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing hooked
Oh,
up.
and then it flips it open and drops
Yeah,
it
it
in.
just flips the spoon open and the garlic will drop in the furrow, and basically there's little two tines that just will kind of gather the dirt, and then these packer wheels you can adjust for depth.
Yeah.
Just to get that perfect, set the seed and close the furrow up.
Perfect. So you've decided to go from hand planting a few acres to making this a full, you're going full in on this.
Full in. Like there's
Yeah.
grocery stores, places like yourself,
Yeah.
sausage companies locally that
Yeah.
are interested in the real product. They would like it peeled, so to pneumatically peel it would be good. But everyone kind of wants this real Alberta grown stuff.
Yes, yeah.
And to get there, you got to use some machines.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
yeah. But you got to make that investment up front.
Yep, it's a 3-year plan just to get to the numbers I want, which is about 5 million on about 60 acres.
That's impressive. Well, should we get this thing fired up
Yeah,
and
we'll
see
show
how it
the
works?
field. We'll just do a little demo.
Sounds good.
From the source directly to the table, let's get some garlic in our bellies.
Garlic Caesar with garlic bread, some good Boston pizza pasta. Dave and I go back a long ways.
2006 we figured out.
That's been a little while. We've been doing, we met on a Kindness in Action volunteer dental trip, and Karen and I were on the trip. So that was a good group. We had probably 25 people on that group.
Yeah.
We were working kind of like what would be their gymnasium. So it was like an outdoor cement pad with a roof over, but no sidewalls on
And
it.
it would the tropical rain on that tin roof was just deafening.
so loud. Yeah. And the downspout would be shooting like a fire hose, and these kids would be running and playing in the water there. And then 15 minutes later, the rain would stop and the sun would come out. What's so neat about it, I find anyways, you get to see what life is really like in those places. You don't get that fake tourist version of things, you know. You sleep where they sleep, you eat what they eat. Now you're retired.
Yeah.
Soldier practice in Redwater.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of volunteer behind the scenes stuff for Kindness in Action. Your wife Judy's been doing a lot of that too. You take the credit, she does all the work.
She does all the work. She packs all the bins.
Exactly. Lots of equipment to take on these trips.
Yeah. Usually about 9-10 bins, 40-50 pounds each, full of supplies, gloves, anesthetic, needles, everything we need. And then we take dental units to do restorative care, fillings on teeth.
Yeah, those dental units are kind of what Army mobile unit would have.
Yeah.
So, it all
Like a
packs
MASH
in the
unit.
suitcases. Pretty crazy stuff. A lot of the places there's no power, there's no running water, so you have to be completely independent. Pretty crazy.
It was interesting because when I got diagnosed with the Parkinson's and I had to quit dentistry and sell my practice, one of the things that I thought, I don't want to leave dentistry. I love dentistry. What can I do? And so it was right at the right time with Kindness in Action. So I got big involved with Kindness in Action. But I also thought I could go to the university and instruct.
When we first started having 3rd and 4th year students coming,
Omar was
they
the first student.
yeah, he was the first one. That's right. They would get more experience in a week than they would in almost the entire 4 years of dental school.
Omar was the first student and I was his mentor. And I said, how many teeth have you pulled, Omar? And he said, 1.
That was it.
How loose was it, Omar? Really, really loose.
Yeah.
Could you pull it with your fingers? Yeah. So they pulled no teeth.
Yeah.
And they pulled, 20, 30, 50, 60 teeth in a week. Everything we do in the third world country is exactly to the standards and rules that we do in Canada. So if you can't do it in Canada, you can't do it in Guatemala.
That's part of the reason I keep my dental hygiene license
Yeah.
up, so I can still go do those trips.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're still up and current.
If they've got rotten teeth, we take care of them.
Yeah. All the time when we're doing this work and you're helping people with their teeth, you always feel you feel compelled to try and help them other ways. And so I've asked quite a few people, how else can I help you? And everywhere in the world, it didn't matter where it was, they all made the same gesture. They put their hands like this and they said, put it in my hands.
Yes.
So donating to some place where you're not sure if the money's actually going to get there to them, it's tough. This way we know it actually gets into their hands. And I think that's a really powerful message. Well, thanks for taking the time to come out to Boston Pizza.
No problem.
If you can give a man a head of garlic, he's good for a date. But if you teach that fella how to farm a 5th generation of Pembina Purple, well, even a guy like Nick's going to find some ladies eventually.
Now that it's on the ground, it'll use the edge, the 2 end wheels to drive the gears to turn the wheel here.
I got you.
The packer wheels in the back, all they do, you can adjust the depth, and that determines how deep your furrow is being
That makes sense.
digging in the ground. This stuff was planted about a couple weeks ago, and I'm just kind of showing a clove. So this is some of the roots that are starting.
It's grown that much already.
That fast, and that's a good
In
start.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
holy man.
Last year I didn't start till about 3 weeks later, and it was a dry spring, but here there's been some snowfalls this spring, and they've been about 5 of them in about a week. The snow has about 3 inches, the water melts each day out of it, and that's just producing a really healthy start to it.
It hasn't been a warm spring either, though. So
Another one.
this stuff doesn't need heat to get its process started. It just needs the right moisture conditions.
Most grain farmers, like, you're looking for warmer soil for germination, so they plant by the May long weekend.
Yeah.
Here it's a cold crop, so it actually likes the cold start, so I'll just put it back.
That must be why some guys are planting this stuff in the fall. Or
They can, yeah.
seems like most guys that I've talked to, other guys, are doing it in the fall. But like you said, you have a risk of losing it.
You do. So if you have enough seed and you want to try it out, if you get that foot of snow that doesn't go in January, it's just like a blanket, and you'll have your root start in October, get a little head start,
Okay, yeah.
and then it'll just have that extra bit of head start in the spring.
So if you plant this, April, May, like you did this year, when is it ripe enough for you to harvest?
Usually it's around mid-August to the first weekend of September. I got about those 2-3 week window, and you're picking out and drying.
Okay, yeah. And so those guys that started in the fall, they would gain 3 weeks on you?
They could, yeah. They would be...
Or they would get would they get bigger cloves?
Potentially both. You can. It all depends on the sunshine you get that year, the heat, the amount of rain you get. So there's so many factors, but if it's a good ideal year, someone that plants in the fall versus me in the spring will get a bit of a bigger bulb, but I just don't like to take the chance of losing the seed because I can't buy the seed again.
I understand. This is your family farm, correct?
Yeah. My grandma and grandpa Shabunka used to live here. They built this farm, and it's kind of changed from cattle and grain now into a specialty
More
vegetable.
specialty crops.
Yep.
That's the way to go, though, I think. Absolutely.
Let's head on back to the restaurant. Maybe for a change, you'll see my face, not just my beautiful voice.
We are trying to get Mr. Tucker set up with his music gear. He just rolled in, came from his day job, right?
Yep.
What were you doing today, sir?
Well, pulling my cable, I guess, is the proper.
You're running some wire today?
Yeah, fighting with, they call it 500 MCM, and it's big cable, and
In minus 25, that must be fun to work with.
it puts the FU in fun. That's no doubt about it. We're doing a little fundraiser here tonight for Kindness in Action and for the Boys and Girls Club. If you order any of the signature cocktails on the menu in front of you, $2 is going to go straight towards those charities, as well as the regular hearts that BP does. Thank you, BP, for hosting us.
Yes.
Go Oil, go! Woohoo!
We're at our big fundraiser event with Kingsway Boston Pizza. We're here with Desiree, she's the manager here. We also have Jeff Delorier, our new brand ambassador. We're here also with Dr. Sunny Leong. He's one of the volunteers from Kindness in Action. We're doing a charity raising event here, working with Desiree and Kingsway Boston Pizza. Proceeds from some of the cocktail sales tonight are going to support the Boys and Girls Club in Edmonton and Kindness in Action to do volunteer work internationally. So thank you, Desiree, for hosting us here.
Yes, thank you for coming.
You have another fundraiser thing that you do here besides the cocktails with the hearts, right?
Yes, we have our heart fundraiser from Boston Pizza. We've been doing it for 26 years, and we've been raising money ever since for local charities.
Thank you for supporting Kindness in Action. It's a cause that's very close to my heart because I've gone on a lot of trips with Sunny that we've got to be very good friends, and we've actually been twisting Mr. Delorier's arm a little bit. Maybe he could come along on one of these trips. It's not just dental people that go on these trips. It's lay people as well. If we're working in some third world country using a generator and a generator breaks, we need somebody that knows how to fix that. Yeah. And I'm sure you've got more skills in your back pocket than just stopping pucks.
I'll have to reach in the back pocket.
Perfect. All right. So thank you again for hosting us here tonight, and go Oilers!
I did this about 6 or 7 years ago and spaced out 2 40-foot bins that are 9.5 feet high, so they're like a high sea can.
Yeah.
It's basically just on a gravel pad.
Yeah.
And I just wanted extra storage space in the inside, so inside to inside is 25 feet by 40 gives you 1,000 square feet.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
the old bowler. Very
the
nice.
old bowler and stinking Lincoln and
Very,
Chevy, yeah.
very nice. Is this your granddad's truck?
Yep, that was my grandpa's. From
What year is this guy?
1965.
65 Chevy, all done right up. Wow. Right on, let's check this truck out. She's done right up nice.
And there's my grandpa, John Shabunka. He's on the old stick shift here.
No kidding.
Rides with me when we go to a wedding or a ball tournament or to a parade, and yeah, it's fun.
Very cool.
So this is 40-foot long sea cans,
Yeah.
and I spaced them 25 feet from inside to inside. So you
Right.
create 1,000 square feet just of dry, cold storage.
And you got the panels off. This was
Yeah.
from last year, so you could get some air circulating through
Yeah,
there.
so keep the front doors open,
Yeah.
and I had to find something to dry the garlic because we just grew so fast.
Yeah.
And so this, you could even feel the breeze in here today.
Oh, right now, absolutely.
It's going through,
Yeah.
but if you don't have it, it won't dry. So
yeah.
with the stem and all the water
some
that's
weight,
in there,
yeah.
you're looking at like 10 pounds or
Yeah.
8 pounds of weight.
And this whole warehouse was full of them.
Just stinking.
Very cool. Good smell. Well, Nick, thank you very much for letting us come out here. I learned a lot, like I always do when I go visit our farmers, and thanks for keeping on supplying us with that amazing purple pimento garlic that makes our garlic vodka taste so good. So
Not a problem. Come back in August. We have our garlic fest here, and that's harvest time.
that sounds like a great idea. You ever thought about doing one of those farm field dinners out here?
I would really like to, just to get like that farm to plate meal.
We got a
and
couple
have you guys.
restaurants we could talk to. We may be able to do that.
Let's do it up.
All right, I'll bring my guitar.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Thanks.
Helen ordered us this stone for our trip to Morocco. We're going to go do dental work there in a few days, and I'm very excited because it's the first time going there.
And we need a special type of sharpening stone for where we're going because we're going to be out in the West Sahara Desert, sleeping in wall tents for a couple weeks, fixing the teeth of nomadic camel herders. And there isn't really much for power or running water, that sort of thing out there, so we have to do most of our work by hand or by generator. And when you're cleaning teeth by hand like I do, the instruments get dull really quickly, so we got to sharpen them a lot. Karen will be working with a mobile dental unit.
Doing fillings, pulling teeth, mostly on children, I'm hoping.
Yes, and we've done these trips all over the world really for quite a while. Actually, Karen's done a lot more of them than I have.
Yeah, it's my 15th trip, so it'll be interesting, that's for sure. I've done pretty much every single country in Central America.
Yeah, been to lots of different places. Never been to
Cambodia.
Africa before though,
Yeah.
so pretty excited about this. The organization that we volunteer with is actually Alberta based. It's based out of St. Paul. It's a group of volunteers from mostly Alberta but all over Canada. Most of the people are dental people. There are also lay people that come along that need to help out and fix the equipment when it breaks and that sort of thing. Over 300 volunteers going to 22 different countries all over the world, trying to help out people that are in need.
We've worked in churches, on church pews, on tables, on desks. I usually have to stand for most of the day. If I'm lucky, I get to sit a little bit. It's a long, hard day usually. We're harder than at home for sure.
In Cambodia, we worked in a prison, and they kind of didn't really tell us the truth
Yeah.
about this prison. They said it was all youth offenders in there for minor crimes. And we got in there, and we're working in the middle of the yard on the prisoners. And they were all adults, it wasn't youth, and most of them were in there for murder, actually. So we were wondering if it was a safe place to be, because there was about 600 inmates and only about a dozen guards in there. But one of the most unique experiences we've ever had. And that's why we like doing these trips, because you get to see what life is really like in a lot of these places. You know, you don't get that fake tourist version of things, and it makes you really humble and appreciate what you have at home.
It helps you realize how lucky we are just to have lights and chairs and things like that. And the people are always so grateful afterwards. Like, it's surprising. They'll bring you their one meal that they'll have. They only have one meal for like the whole month, and they'll bring that to us. And you're like, you have to say, no, I can't take that, but it's so awesome that they do stuff like that for us.
We even had a lady try and give us a live chicken to thank Karen for pulling her tooth out, actually.
We're very much looking forward to the trip. This is going to be a totally new experience, a new country, a new place, and actually we're going with, we don't know anyone on this trip, so we'll be able to make some new friendships and meet some great people.
I'm a little bit worried leaving the business, leaving the distillery for 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully Mike doesn't burn the place to the ground while we're gone. Normally when we go on trips like this, when we get back, the place is actually running twice as good as before I left, so maybe I should go away more often.
It's not very often that Garlic gets upstaged, but when you're volunteering to help those less fortunate, it's an easy choice to make, even to a Ukrainian like myself. As long as no garlic gets hurt in this process, I'll be fine.
The ladies hate peeling garlic, so we're gonna take a little bit of weight off their shoulders. Our friend Nick that grows garlic for us gave us an extra bag, and we're gonna see how big it gets. Check this out.